about you with Rick Ross? You like, oh.
50 Cent and Rick Ross have been going at it for over a decade. But just when you thought this beef couldn't get any worse, it did. This time, Big Meech is caught in the crossfire, and it might cost him everything, including his relationship with 50 and even the future of the BMF show. The tension is higher than ever, and 50 is making sure this drama doesn't go unnoticed. But the real question is, will this be the final blow in their never-ending war, or is Ross about to take things to a level even 50 didn't see coming? It all started with a simple picture, a picture that in any other situation might not have meant much. Big Meech, fresh out of prison after serving 18 years, linked up with Rick Ross to promote a welcome home concert. Ross, never one to stay quiet, was hyping up the event like it was the biggest moment in hip-hop history. But for 50, that picture was all he needed to see. To the casual fan, this might not seem like a big deal. But for anyone who knows the history between these men, it was like pouring gasoline on a fire that had been burning for over 15 years. 50 wasted no time and immediately went nuclear. He called out Meech in front of millions, implying that Meech was a rat, and suggesting that the only reason he got out of prison early was because he cut some kind of deal. Then came the Instagram post, a rat with the words, "I think him Big Meech," plastered across it. The caption? A direct shot at Meech, hinting that the truth was about to be exposed. And just like that, the internet went into a frenzy. But why would 50 even go this hard over a single picture? To understand that, you need to go back to the start, back to the BET Awards in 2008, when Rick Ross first claimed he had a problem with the way 50 looked at him. That moment sparked one of the longest and pettiest feuds in hip-hop history. When Ross dropped his diss track, Mafia Music, he went straight for the throat, suggesting that 50 was responsible for the fire that burned down his baby mama's house. And if there's one thing 50 Cent doesn't tolerate, it's disrespect. He came back with Officer Ricky, a diss track that didn't just attack Ross, it exposed him. Photos surfaced of Ross as a correctional officer, something that completely went against the gangster persona he had built his career on. 50 ran with it, creating entire cartoons mocking Ross, releasing personal details about his past, and even bringing in Ross' own baby mama to air out his secrets. But the crazy thing, none of it worked. Unlike Yerul, whose career never recovered after 50's attacks, Ross somehow came out of the beef untouched. If anything, he got even bigger, and that's exactly why this beef still eats at 50. He couldn't take Ross down back then, and now, years later, Ross just did the one thing that could make 50 snap. He got Big Meech on his side. And it wasn't just about the picture. What really made 50 go off was the connection to Tammy Cowens. Now, if you don't know who that is, let's break it down. Tammy was Meech's personal assistant and business partner back in the day. She was in charge of BMF Entertainment, the label Meech was running even from behind bars. But in 2009, everything changed. She flipped. She became a government informant. And not only that, she's the reason 50 even got the rights to the BMF series in the first place. She was the one handling all the legal business that allowed 50 to make the show happen. So when Meech linked up with Ross, it wasn't just about the picture. It was about loyalty. 50 saw it as betrayal. But if you think that's where it ends, you don't know 50. He wasn't done. He kept pressing the snitching angle, saying that if Tammy was working with the feds and Meech was trusting her with his business, then what does that really mean? The internet exploded with theories. Fans started questioning if Meech had really gotten out of prison clean or if there was more to the story. Meech responded, denying everything. He went on Instagram, saying he never folded, never snitched, and never would. But that wasn't enough for 50. He clapped back with edited videos, memes, and even more accusations, making sure that the narrative stayed alive. And then, in true 50 fashion, he decided to drag Lil Meech into it. Lil Meech, who plays his father in the BMF series, messaged 50 directly, upset about how things were playing out. He told 50 that he had always been loyal, that he didn't understand why 50 was going this hard, and that linking up with Ross was just about business. It wasn't personal. 50's response? Pure pettiness. He hinted that Lil Meech might not have a next season on the show, making it clear that his role wasn't guaranteed. And if that wasn't enough, he went even further, suggesting that Lil Meech might end up on Love and Hip Hop if he kept playing both sides. But here's where things took a crazy turn. Rick Ross came back into the mix, and this time he wasn't just talking. He announced that he was going to make his own BMF movie. That's right. Ross went on social media and straight up said that he was tired of seeing a small-budget BMF series and that it was time for a real big-budget movie to tell the story the right way. He even name-dropped major directors, making it sound like this was already in motion. But there's one huge problem. 50 owns the rights. TMZ even confirmed it. That means Ross can't legally make the movie unless he goes through 50. And let's be real, 50 is never letting that happen. So what's really going on here? Is this just another chapter in the never-ending 50 versus Ross war? Or is there something deeper? Fans are divided. Some people think 50 is just being way too petty and that this whole situation should have been dead years ago. Others say 50 has a point. Loyalty is everything. And if Meech really was supporting someone who tried to ruin 50's career, then 50 has every right to respond. And then there's the biggest question of all. Will this actually affect the future of the BMF show? Could 50 really cancel it out of spite, or is this all just internet hype? One thing is for sure, 50 is never letting this beef go. If Ross thought he was just going to take a picture, promote a concert, and move on, he was wrong. This isn't just about rap anymore. It's personal. But what do you think? Is 50 going too far? Should Meech have been more careful about who he associates with? Or is this all just another classic case of industry drama that will eventually blow over? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget, this story isn't over. Not by a long shot. 50 Cent and Rick Ross have been going at it for over a decade, but just